Hello everyone, my name is Sarah and welcome back to Fluent English Stories. I'm so happy you're here with me today. This podcast is your place to learn English naturally, at your own pace. You can listen while you're relaxing, walking, cooking, or even before you go to sleep. No pressure, just natural English that you can use in real life. Today, we're going to talk about something very practical and important. We're going to learn all about making appointments. This is something you will do many times in your life, so it's really worth learning how to do it well in English. What is an appointment? So first question, what exactly is an appointment? An appointment is a specific time that you agree to meet someone or do something. It's like making a promise about time. You're saying, I will be there at this time on this day. We make appointments for so many different things. Let me give you some examples from my own life. Last month, I had a toothache, so I called my dentist and made an appointment. I couldn't just walk in anytime I wanted. I had to call first, and they gave me a specific time to come. Another example, I wanted to get a haircut. My hair was getting really long, and I needed to do something about it. So I called my favorite hair salon and made an appointment for Saturday morning. They asked me what time I preferred, and we agreed on 10:30 a.m. And it's not just for professional things. Sometimes I make appointments with friends, too, especially if we're both very busy. I might text my friend and say, let's make a time to meet for coffee. We pick a day and time that works for both of us. Now, here's an interesting thing about the word appointment. We usually use it for more formal or professional situations. When you're going to see a doctor, a dentist, a lawyer, or having a meeting at work, we say appointment. But when you're meeting friends or family, we usually say making plans or getting together. Both mean the same thing, though you're agreeing on a time to meet. When do we need appointments? Let me tell you about all the different situations where you might need to make an appointment. Medical appointments are probably the most common. When you need to see a doctor, you have to make an appointment first. Most doctors' offices are very busy, and they need to organize their time. You can't just show up and expect to be seen immediately. The same is true for dentists, eye doctors, and any medical specialist. Hair salons and barbershops usually work with appointments too. Some small barbershops accept walk-ins, which means you can just walk in without calling first. But most modern salons prefer appointments because it helps them plan their day. Business meetings almost always need appointments. If you want to meet with your boss, a colleague, or a client, you need to check their calendar first. You might send an email saying, could we schedule a meeting to discuss the project? Government offices often require appointments now. If you need to renew your passport or driver's license, many places want you to book an appointment online first. This helps them manage the number of people coming in. Even some restaurants take appointments, especially nice restaurants. We usually call this a reservation instead of an appointment, but it's the same idea. You're booking a specific time. Making an appointment. Now let's learn the most important phrases you need to make an appointment in English. I'm going to teach you exactly what to say. The most basic and useful phrase is, I'd like to make an appointment. Let me break this down for you. I'd like to is short for I would like to. This is a very polite way to say, I want to. In English, we don't usually say, I want an appointment, because it sounds too direct and a bit rude. Instead, we say, I'd like to make an appointment, and it sounds much more polite. You can use this phrase in so many situations. When you call a doctor's office, you say, "Hello, I'd like to make an appointment with Dr. Johnson." When you call a hair salon, you say, "Hi, I'd like to make an appointment for a haircut." It's the perfect way to start. There are other ways to say this too. You can say, "I need to schedule an appointment." The word schedule means to plan or arrange something at a specific time. This sounds a bit more formal, and it's very common in business situations. Another good phrase is, "I want to book an appointment." The word book means to reserve or to secure a time slot. We often use book for appointments, hotel rooms, restaurant tables, and tickets. It's a very useful word. You can also say, "I was hoping to see Dr. Wilson." This is a softer, more indirect way of asking. When you say "I was hoping to," you're being extra polite. You're not demanding anything. You're just expressing your wish. Talking about time and availability. When you make an appointment, you need to talk about time. The receptionist or the person you're talking to will probably ask you, "When would you like to come?" Or, "What day works for you?" Let me teach you how to answer these questions naturally. If you have a specific time in mind, you can say, "I'd prefer Tuesday afternoon if possible." The words "if possible" make it sound polite. You're not demanding Tuesday afternoon. You're just saying that's your preference. If you're more flexible, you can say, "I'm available anytime next week." This tells them you have no specific requirements, and they can choose what works best for their schedule. Sometimes the receptionist will suggest some options. They might say, "We have Tuesday at 2 p.m. or Thursday at 10:30 a.m. Then you need to choose. You can say, "Tuesday at 2 p.m. works for me," or "Thursday would be better for me." Here's a really useful phrase. What times do you have available? This is asking them to tell you what times are free. The word available means free or open. If a doctor is available at 3 p.m., it means they don't have any other patient at that time. Another great question is, do you have anything earlier? Or do you have anything later? Maybe they offer you 5 p.m., but you finish work at 6 p.m., so you need something later. You can ask, "Do you have anything after 6 p.m.?" confirming the appointment. After you agree on a time, the receptionist will usually confirm all the details with you. They want to make sure everything is correct. This is a very important part of making an appointment. They will probably say something like, "So I have you scheduled for Tuesday, January 15th at 2 p.m. They're telling you all the details again. You should listen carefully and check that everything is right. If everything is correct, you can simply say, "Yes, that's correct," or "That's perfect, thank you." They might ask for your personal information too. They'll say, "Can I have your name, please?" Or, "What's your phone number?" This is normal. They need this information to keep track of your appointment and to contact you if needed. Sometimes they'll give you some special instructions. They might say, "Please arrive 10 minutes early," or "Bring your insurance card with you." Make sure you listen to these instructions carefully. At the end, it's polite to say thank you. You can say, "Thank you so much," or "I appreciate your help." These phrases show that you're grateful for their time. Changing or canceling appointments. Now let's talk about what happens when you need to change or cancel your appointment. This happens to everyone. Maybe you get sick. Maybe something urgent comes up at work. Maybe you just made a mistake with your schedule. It's okay, but you must call and tell them. If you just don't show up, that's called a no-show. No-shows are really not polite. Some places might charge you money if you're a no-show. Other places might not let you make appointments in the future. So always call if you can't come. The most important phrase here is, I need to reschedule my appointment. The word reschedule means to change the time. It's one word, and it's very useful. You can use it in any situation where you need to change a scheduled time. You can also say, I need to change my appointment, or I need to move my appointment to a different day. These all mean the same thing. If you want to cancel completely, not just change the time, you say, I need to cancel my appointment. Be direct and clear about this. Now, here's a very polite phrase that makes your request sound softer. I'm afraid I need to reschedule. When you say, I'm afraid, you're showing that you feel sorry about the situation. You're not really scared. It's just a polite expression that shows regret. You should also give a brief reason. You don't need to explain everything in detail, but a simple reason is polite. You can say, something came up at work, or I'm not feeling well, or I have a family emergency. The phrase, something came up, is really useful. It means something unexpected happened. You don't need to give all the details. Just saying something came up is enough, and people will understand. After you explain, say, I'm sorry for the inconvenience. An inconvenience is a small problem or difficulty. You're creating extra work for them because they have to change their schedule. So it's polite to apologize for that. The person will usually be understanding. They'll help you find a new time. They might ask when would work better for you. Then you can suggest a different day or time. Making plans with friends. Making appointments with friends is different from making professional appointments. With friends, we're much more casual and relaxed. We don't use formal language, but we still need to be clear about the time and place. Instead of saying, I'd like to make an appointment, you say things like, we should hang out sometime, or let's get coffee soon. The word hang out means to spend time together in a casual way. Sometime and soon are vague words. They mean in the future, but we don't know exactly when yet. When you want to get more specific, you ask, when are you free? This is a simple, direct question. Free means you don't have other plans. You're available. Your friend might answer, I'm free on Saturday, or I'm free most evenings. To suggest a specific time, you use the phrase, how about? For example, how about Tuesday at 6 p.m.? Or, how about this weekend? The phrase, how about, is a friendly way to make a suggestion. It's like saying, what do you think about Tuesday? Your friend will probably answer with, sounds good, or that works for me. These are casual ways to say yes. If the time doesn't work, they might say, I can't do Tuesday, but Wednesday works. Or, that doesn't work for me. How about Friday instead? Don't forget to decide where you'll meet. You need to say, where should we meet? Or, let's meet at the coffee shop on Main Street. Be specific about the location so there's no confusion. At the end, you can say, it's a date. Don't worry, this doesn't mean a romantic date. It just means we have a plan. Or, it's confirmed. It's a friendly, casual expression. Another nice thing to say is, I'm looking forward to it. This means you're excited about the plan. You're happy about meeting your friend. Confirming plans. Sometimes, especially with friends, we confirm plans before the day arrives. This just means we check that the plan is still happening. nobody's plans have changed. You might send a text message and say, "Hey, we're still on for Tuesday at 4 p.m., right?" The phrase "still on" means the plan is still confirmed. Nothing has changed. You can also say, "Just checking. Are we still meeting tomorrow?" Or, "Just confirming Tuesday at 4 p.m. at the coffee shop." The words "just checking" and "just confirming" show that you're not doubting your friend. You just want to make sure. Many professional places send reminders too. You might get a text message or email that says, "Reminder, you have an appointment with Dr. Wilson tomorrow at 2 p.m. Some messages even ask you to confirm. They might say, "Reply yes to confirm" or "cancel to cancel." This is really helpful because it reminds you about the appointment. Important things to remember. Let me share some important tips about making appointments in English. First, always be polite. In English-speaking cultures, being polite is very important. Don't say, "I want an appointment on Monday at 3 p.m." This sounds demanding. Instead, say, "I'd like to make an appointment," or "Could I schedule an appointment?" These phrases are softer and more polite. Second, confirm all the details. At the end of the conversation, repeat the date, time, and place. Say something like, "So, Tuesday at 2 p.m., right?" Or, "Just to confirm, Friday at 11 a.m. at your office?" This makes sure everyone understands correctly. It prevents mistakes and confusion. Third, write it down. After you make an appointment, write it in your calendar immediately. Don't trust your memory. We all forget things sometimes. I always put appointments in my phone calendar, and I set a reminder for one day before. Fourth, arrive on time. If your appointment is at 2 p.m., arrive a few minutes before 2 p.m. Being late is not polite. Some places are very strict about time. If you're late, they might not see you, and you'll have to reschedule. Fifth, if you must cancel, do it as early as possible. Don't wait until the last minute. If you know on Monday that you can't come to your Thursday appointment, call on Monday. This gives them time to offer that slot to someone else. Common mistakes to avoid. Let me tell you about some mistakes that English learners often make with appointments. Mistake number 1, being too direct. In some cultures, it's normal to be very direct. You just say what you want. But in English, especially in professional situations, we use polite phrases. We don't say, "Give me an appointment on Monday." We say, "I'd like to schedule an appointment for Monday, if possible." Mistake number 2, not being specific enough. If you say, "I want to come next week," that's not specific enough. Next week has 5 or 7 days. You need to say, "I'd like to come next Tuesday," or "I'm available on Wednesday or Thursday next week." Mistake number 3, forgetting to ask about the location. When you're meeting friends, make sure you know exactly where to meet. Don't just say, "Let's meet at a coffee shop." Say, "Let's meet at the Starbucks on Main Street next to the bank." Be specific. Mistake number 4, not saying anything when you can't come. This is really important. If you can't go to your appointment, you must call and tell them. Some people feel embarrassed or nervous about calling, so they just don't go. But this is really not polite, and it can cause problems for you later. Mistake number 5, using the wrong phrase for the situation. Remember, with professionals, we say appointment. With friends, we say plans or getting together. Don't call your doctor and say, "I want to make plans with you." That sounds strange. Conclusion and review. Okay, everyone, let's review everything we learned today. We talked about what appointments are and when we need them. we learned the essential phrase, "I'd like to make an appointment," and other useful variations like, "I need to schedule an appointment," and "I want to book an appointment." We learned how to talk about time and availability using phrases like, "I'd prefer Tuesday afternoon if possible," and "What times do you have available?" We learned how to change or cancel appointments using phrases like, "I need to reschedule," and "I'm afraid I can't make it." We learned how to make casual plans with friends using phrases like, "How about Tuesday?" and "Sounds good." And we talked about important tips and common mistakes to avoid. Making appointments is such an important skill in English. You will use it all the time in your life for doctor visits, haircuts, business meetings, and meeting friends. The good news is, once you learn these phrases, they become natural and automatic. My advice to you is, practice these phrases out loud. Even if you're alone, say them out loud. Practicing speaking helps you remember better. And the next time you need to make an appointment in English, you'll feel confident and ready. Before we finish, here's my question for you today. What kind of appointments do you make most often? Is it doctor appointments, hair salon, meeting friends, or something else? Think about it, and if you're comfortable, write your answer in the comments. I love hearing from you and learning about your lives. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Thank you for choosing Fluent English Stories as your English learning companion. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the podcast and share it with your friends who are learning English. Remember, learning English is a journey, not a race. Every day, every episode, every phrase you learn brings you closer to fluency. Keep listening, keep practicing, and most importantly, don't be afraid to use your English in real life. Take care, everyone. This is Sarah, and I'll see you in the next episode of Fluent English Stories.